So yeah, we are back with some more Pokemon Y. Oh, you went on to go for the demon guy or the devil guy? I'll be honest, I play D&D, so he looked... I just saw a tiefling, or a tiefling, however you want to pronounce it. Nice. So yeah, last time on the Nuzlocke, we were able to beat the 3rd gym and get the fighting type badge. And we did that by clicking a single button. Several times, but it was just one button. Here's the thing. What happens in this Nuzlocke, and what I kind of expected from the start, was simply... oh jeez. The 3rd and 4th gym are pretty much free as long as we have Crobat. There's not much that Crobat can do to the 3rd or 4th gyms. Or, there's not much that the 3rd and 4th gyms can do to Crobat. And it just destroys them. So I'm not expecting anything particularly dangerous right now for this leg of things. But we are going to get some encounters that I'm kind of excited for. In fact, I need to double check something. Hold up a sec. So we're going to get at least one very useful encounter in the next little bit. One that will really help with a couple of challenging type matchups for us, and one that's just good in general. But first, we do have to go and get a bit of an HM slave. And I probably could have backtracked to Shalor City again before this to save time. But, you know what they say. I'm not gonna say it, because I don't know what they say, but you probably know what they say. Oh, well. I forgot that we hadn't already fought this trainer. Throw is actually pretty tough. I am going to switch into Ivan, because I think this thing has some, yeah, it has some unexpected coverage moves. Okay, Sweet Scent. Even a crit won't kill here. Sleep Powder is a guaranteed hit after the Sweet Scent. And then we can drop the Leech Seed. And luckily, Throw has a whole lot of HP. Yeah, so all the way from 29 up to 41. Yeah, I think it's doing slightly less damage with Bulldoze than we're recovering, or no, slightly more. I think we're actually in overgrow range. You can tell just how bulky that throw is, though, with how little damage we did just there, even with a critical hit. And now it's Hawlucha. And that's pretty frightening. Luckily, we do have a very physically bulky Pokemon in Sully. I need to remember, since the last time I have been doing a good bit of berry farming. I haven't gotten any new ones except the Lepa berry, which I traded a citrus berry for, but yeah, could you actually not get... Oh, you got poisoned. Well... Oh well, not much we could do about that. Funnily enough, our current team is actually very weak to flying, so if we weren't so much higher level than this Hawlucha, and if Sully here wasn't properly trained in defense, I would actually be pretty worried right now. As it is, Sully is quite bulky for this stage of the game. Good job, Sully. You leveled up. Look at all that HP. No, I can. I changed Sully. I don't have the battle on set mode, or I don't have the battle on switch mode, if that's what you're talking about. But I can change Pokemon during the battle. But no, it's just, if we take a look at our team real quick, we've got Krogunk, a fighting type, which is weak to flying. Ivysaur and Roselia, both grass types, which are weak to flying. And Scolipede, a bug type, which is weak to flying. Come to think of it, I don't know if we get any Pokemon that are resistant to flying in this game. Flying resistance is actually pretty rare, just as a whole in Pokemon. It's one of the things that makes flying a generally good offensive type. It's because it gets good neutral coverage into so many types of Pokemon. And flying types tend to be a little bit offensively built. Not to say that flying type is any sort of a slouch defensively either. It's one of the best all-around types. If I were to pick a type to recommend for a beginner trying a monotype challenge, flying type in any game that doesn't start with a rock gym is actually it's a pretty dang good option, because, oh, hold up. What are my Pokemon actually holding? It's a pretty good option because there's a lot of variety among flying types. And they tend to be fairly common. And they get really good coverage generally, which keeps down the number of really threatening battles. Especially since you have some really top-tier Nuzlocke Pokemon like Crobat or Gyarados that are part flying. Gonna give some of you know what? I won't give everyone else. But yeah. Okay. For a second there, I thought he was challenging us to a battle, which would have really surprised me, because... Yep, Gyarados is water and flying type. When it Mega Evolves, as we'll see later on in the game, it becomes water and dark. And this person gives me a Lapras, which I actually am going to have to take, because I don't have any water types at the moment. I don't have anything that can learn Surf. So we are going to drop Sully in the box real quick. And then we are going to proceed to never use that Lapras except for this one brief stretch as we teach it Surf. Yeah, it literally doesn't matter what we replace on it. I'm pretty sure I've already picked up that berry. Wait for him to go back the other way, and it is kind of cool how we can actually hop on Lapras's back. Okay, yes, I thought there was an item hidden down here. And it doesn't matter if we go through the grass, there's nothing here that's actually a valid encounter. Oh. Except I'm going to switch to Pendra, so I think it's a bit faster than Krogunk. Oh. We'll be coming back through here pretty soon. And we'll be able to bring Boring the Chespin along for TM, or for HMs. Oh, and this little girl gave us the TM for Attract. Ideally, we will never have to use that because infatuation strats are ridiculously unreliable. But at least we can enjoy this. That's right, we can ride the goat. I would actually definitely consider a grass type run, a grass type only run in just about any game where Go-Goat is available, because it's just so much fun. It's just such a pleasant little Pokemon. And it can hop backwards over ledges, which is helpful, as it is the only way to get into this area and grab this item that we won't be able to use. Yeah, honestly, like, I know you're kind of memeing there, but this game is genuinely one of the really enjoyable Pokemon games to play through. The only real problems I would say it has are, well, first of all, the rivals all kinda suck. They're all pretty awful. And when I say that, I do have to clarify, I don't personally consider Shauna a rival, and I actually really like her character and personality in these games, simply because she's just kind of on for the ride. She's just here to have a good time, and, you know, respect that. So, nice thing, we do not encounter trainers while riding on the go-go. But yeah, there is that, and then just the lack of, like, the game gets pretty easy at a certain point. Like, I like a lot of variety, but I can't claim that it doesn't start to get, that it isn't one of the easier Pokemon games, because it really is. Okay, and why does he have war paint on? I think that's a glitch in this very real Nintendo DS. But yeah, he was just saying that he's going to challenge us to a battle in front of the gym, and that fight is actually going to be much harder than the gym fight itself. I don't think I need any incense specifically at the moment. Okay, this is what we're here for. That one item is why I wanted to make it to this town. Like, I realize there's a gym here and everything, but no, we're here for the good rod. And I guess there are a couple of other useful items in town. Alright, chat, what y'all think? What's the move she's describing? It makes the target lose its ability to concentrate and lowers the target's special attack stat. Is it Confide, Acrobatics, Embargo, or Trick Room? I'm not actually going to make y'all answer if you don't want to. But I'll give it a moment. Let's see if y'all can guess. The answer is Confide. You simply whisper a few government secrets to the target, and it becomes harder for them to spit fire from their mouths. Oh, and we got a lucky egg. Lucky egg will be helpful when we're trying to get new encounters up to speed, especially because it boosts experience gained. Oh, and this is the game director. I think he gives us like the shiny charm or something. He gives us some reward once we fill up the Pokédex, which we're never going to do, so it's not actually that important. But now's the time for us to take care of something very important. So we're on Route 12 here, and we are going to drop in the Good Rod. And that is not what we want, so we're going to now run away. Oh, and hang on, before I throw it back in, we're also going to heal up Phil Bates. Because you see, there is actually a Pokemon that we can catch here. We just need to be able to fish for it. And unfortunately, the fishing minigame is pretty random. I mean, it's not really even much of a minigame, it's just a quick time event with hitting A. So again, not a poison type. We bypass this Remoraid here. And surprisingly, this quick time event can actually be kind of finicky, so I'm going to do this without using speed up, which does unfortunately make it a bit slower. Come on, you little toxic bugger. Get on the hook. Is this it? Nope, this is once again Clam Pearl. Oh, come on, Chlora. I know you can cast faster than that. Hopefully, this won't actually take as long as I'm worrying it will. I'm not actually sure what the encounter rate is here. Let's see, if we open up Route 12, Fishing Good Rod. It is not here, I was mistaken. See, this is why I look things up midstream instead of just relying on my memory of what I've looked up prior to the stream. So we will grab a few things as we head north because, and I'm going to confirm this so that I don't make a dumb choice again, north exit, Azure Bay, okay, yeah. Oh, it's actually just a surfing encounter there. That will save time. So we may not actually need to mess with the fishing minigame. But we are going to need to dodge a couple of trainers. Oh. We got an encounter right as we entered Azure Bay. And we have the Pokemon we're here for. That right there is a Tentacool, which is a Poison-type Pokemon. And you know what? It's a Water type, so I will probably, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and use a Netball, since that's more effective on Water types. And now we can go to the Pokemon Center and lock Lapras in the box, never to use it again. Ooh, let's see. Hang on, I know what I want to name this after, I just don't know what it's actually called. The blue bottle jellyfish, also known as the Portuguese man-o'-war. Scientific name is this. Lapras wasn't toxic enough to survive on this team. It never was. But yeah, Physalia utriculus. So let's see, it is a male. I'm going to go with Physalia either way. And I think we'll call him Al. Physalia. So yeah, we took approximately one step into Azure Bay, found the Pokemon that we were looking for, and now we can go and get rid of this non-toxic monstrosity from our team. Don't read too much into this. Lapras has always been a favorite of mine ever since Generation 1. Oh, let's skip through these guys. But at least we got the HM for Fly. Can I use the HM for Fly already? I need to check this. And in order to do that... Oh. I always forget which of these two people I need to talk to take this the extremely slow cutscene to the other side of town. So yeah. Now we can take So Sam, I don't know if you were here when it was decided, but we are retiring Phoebe to the box at this point. She might make a brief reappearance in, like, the upcoming gym battle, but for the most part, her part of this game is done. She carried us through the first couple of gyms, and we wouldn't have made it this far had we not had her on the team as an absolute powerhouse. So yeah, we have Al here. He has clear body. I'm not really sure whether I would... Well, I wouldn't say it's a Rip Phoebe moment, because, like, honestly, Phoebe gets retirement. She gets to relax away the rest of her days in extreme toxicity. She gets to spend the rest of her life playing League of Legends when we all know that's what she wanted, really. Okay. And we are going to go ahead and put that lucky egg we just got onto Al. And we can actually use that shiny stone to evolve Ollie whenever we want to. But let's see here now. Fly. Desi, you do have a move that we can afford to replace, right? Yeah, you've got Confuse, right? We don't really want to rely on Confusion. We're never actually going to use Fly in battle because Acrobatics is just straight up an all-around better move. The only situation we could possibly want to use it in is... come on. I can't use Fly yet. Well, it looks like we're still on foot. We have to be careful not to walk up to the gym. But yeah, Acrobatics is just a better move. We're literally just teaching Fly to Desi to have it on something. And we're going to go ahead and teach Surf to Al. It will replace Bubble Beam. Do we have any other useful moves for Al? You know what? I'll replace Wrap with Venoshock while we skim through the moves to check, because a reliable Poison-type move is just generally useful. No. We do actually want to put Thief on something, because we're going to want to backtrack for a minute while we do some grinding and try and swipe some black sludges from Krogunks several routes back. Sword Stance. Tentacool can learn Sword Stance? Dang. I never knew. Okay. No. Oh, and while it was between gameplay, I picked up the TM for Poison Jab from the Pokemart in the last town. Yeah, we'll stick with those moves for now. And we're going to stay well away from the gym, because I really don't feel like fighting our rival with an underleveled team that doesn't include Stunky. Sure, we'll listen to your song while I've got the game volume muted. So here's the thing, I never recognize the sounds, so I'm just going to guess. Okay. And I got a Poke Toy for guessing which sound she made that I couldn't hear. Yeah, I don't have the game volume playing for me either. Ah, yes. We got a black sludge. That's one. We can get more. I can't remember. Okay, we can actually access the Badlands. We don't need to yet, and I'm not going to bother with it, because I'm like 99% certain there is no encounter there. We're actually going... Let me just double check. Yeah, ground types. Just ground types. Yeah, there's no encounter in the Badlands for us. So yeah, we are going to backtrack now and do some training for our little owl there. Oh, and if you look up there in the top right, you can actually see the lower portion of the town, which I've never actually noticed. But yeah. We'll backtrack a little ways. We'll head north to Azure Bay to pick up a couple of TMs and items that are scattered around. And Al, if you would be so kind as to take the lead. Oh. Yeah, I should probably be going slower here. I'm gonna drop a layer of toxic spikes. Okay, yeah, it's just using Aurora Beam right now. And then I'll fire away with a couple of acid sprays. And the second one will be significantly stronger than the first because it lowers the target's special defense by, I think, 2 stages? Possibly 3, I can't quite remember, and he sent out Skrelp. Oh, yay. I actually really like Skrelp. It's a fellow poison type, and we're going to be catching its evolved form eventually, but I don't really want to... I don't really appreciate the fact that it cleared out our toxic spikes. One other thing I did between sessions, why did I use Sweet Scent? I mean, there's not much to worry about in this fight, but I'd still like to not waste turns. But yeah, one other thing I did between sessions was use the photo spots several times so that I could get the 2 remaining items that I can from there. the zoom lens, which boosts critical hit rate, and the wide lens, or the scope lens, which boosts critical hit rate, and the zoom lens, which boosts accuracy, but only if we go second. Still, both very good items for different strategies that we might wind up employing later in the game. Ivan, why would I have you learn Double Edge? If I wanted more normal type coverage, I would just teach you Return instead of a move with recoil. Now see, while Slowpoke does have the advantage, I actually think we can handle this because Tentacruel has ridiculous special defense. Never mind, we can't. We're gonna switch. Luckily, while Slowpoke is a psychic type, it is ridiculously weak. And we have a bug type on the team. I'm gonna heal up real quick. I'm spamming Oran Berries because they're a bit cheaper than other healing options that we have less access to. We've pretty much got unlimited Oran Berries because I'm just farming berries in between sessions. Yep, there's something in the rock. And it's just a generally good idea to get a lot of Oran Berries together when you play this game, because the berry farming is a pretty important bit of the game. And while we could go in that cave, there's literally nothing inside it right now. It's just a big open space. You know what? I'll even show you. Yep. Big open space. In the post game, I think there are like some legendaries that camp there or something. I don't know. I'm not actually sure I've ever played much of the post game of this. So who knows? I might even go beyond the end of this playthrough. Oh, come on. Why did you have to get confused? Phil, finish this one up. Use Rock Tomb. That should do it nicely. There are probably a few of these Sky Trainers, like that person on the rock there, that we could take at this stage of the game. But there's no point. It's not worth the risk, especially since, as I mentioned, flying type Pokemon are kind of dangerous for our team. We've got a lot of bug and grass types, and some of the few pieces of coverage we have are Pokemon like Krogunk, which is a fighting type. Yeah. Oh, this I think is where, yep, this is where we want to go, because there is a TM hidden on this rock that is actually pretty good, if I remember correctly. And while we're here, we are going to switch into Desi, have her use Air Cutter. Now we do have to be cautious with how much we use Desi, because we don't want her to over level the next gym, otherwise it gets slightly harder. I'm not going to say that it gets hard, because it doesn't, but it gets slightly harder. There you go, Pendra. And we got a Pechaberry. Definitely not worth it. I should probably be looking up what the different color berries on these routes are, but I'm just a little bit too lazy for that. At some point, if I think it's important, we'll have a time when we actually have like a dedicated berry grind. But until then... Oh, hey Vinny, thanks for the raid. How's it going and what were you streaming? Nope, my shout-out command still isn't working. Yeah, welcome in, Raiders. We're playing some Pokemon Y. We're doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, which means we're only using poison types. If you have any questions about the rules, feel free to ask them, and I will do my best to explain. But yeah, the main thing is that, you know, we're swimming in toxicity at the moment. Like, our team is so frickin' toxic. It's like an entire League of Legends lobby crammed into one Pokemon team. Oh crap, now I've actually got to beat this thing. Okay, we can drop its special defense. This is actually a pretty dangerous situation because we just got wrapped, which means we can't run from battle. Please let the wrap wear off. Please don't let this be the... Oh, thank goodness. Okay. We are going to switch to something that can actually take this, because otherwise Al is gonna die, and Al is very important. Okay, that was way more tense than it should have been. Let's heal you up. Yeah, that was too close. And that was on my own stupidity. I shouldn't have been trying to run against a Pokemon that could very easily be able to outspeed us, because against a Tentacruel of the same level, it's just straight up a toss-up. And so far we haven't lost anyone in this run, despite the fact that I fully expected to much earlier than this. So yeah, let's try and keep it that way. We are going to mix up the team again. So, for those of you who just joined, this is Phoebe, our starter. She did a phenomenal job against the first gym. And honestly, this run would be almost impossible if we couldn't fully evolve her before the first gym. And at this point, her reward is that she gets to move into the box and enjoy retirement without all the hassles of running around with us, risking death. She has passed the torch to the next generation, you might say. Yeah, Phoebe is an absolute queen. Oh, hang on, actually. Now I have just snagged a non-poison type from the box. That's because I do allow the use of extra Pokemon for HMs. And there's an item back this way that I want to get a hold of. And actually, before I backtrack, we're going to be forced to fight some trainers, and I'd like to know what they've got on their teams. Because I would hate to die to someone. Because, for example, one of them has a Zangoose and a Tauros. That's just great, really. Okay. Let's see here real quick. Phil, if you wouldn't mind going in front, and we're actually going to backtrack to the Pokemon Center one more time. Because... yeah, I want to get the Eviolite on you. Organize items, grab that from Stunky, and move it to Krogunk. Okay. Now we should actually be in a decent situation for taking on those two, because otherwise those things are so ridiculously strong for this stage of the game anyway. Never underestimate a normal type at this stage of the game, because they tend to have exceptionally good coverage and strong stab moves, like that Crush Claw. Really? Why are you using Workup? Okay, we are going to switch into Yuri. Okay, it used Pursuit, which means Yuri is safe on the switch-in. That's actually very helpful. We're gonna Glare. Ow! Ollie, I think, can... ah, crap. Well, there's the first death of the run. We should be able to finish this thing off with Giga Drain, and I probably should have just gone into Ollie in the first place in hindsight, but hindsight is 20/20, and that's 2 years ago. Okay, we're gonna look on the bright side. Or at least I'm going to try and look on the bright side. Yuri was our most disposable Pokemon. As much as I hate to say that, we have other pure poison types that have better stats and fill a more defined role in the team. Okay. We're gonna drop Taunt for Sucker Punch on Phil Bates. See, here's the thing. I'm not even remotely worried about the upcoming gym, because it's the grass-type gym, and I have a Crobat. So I've already won the grass-type gym. I just haven't actually done the battle yet, but some of these random trainers that we have to get through... Let's see... You know what? This box is nice and purple. We are going to rename this. This box is the Miasma. all of our departed friends will enter the miasma and join into one in the great beyond. I am going to add the Pokemon that I should have probably had on my team for that fight onto my team now. Because Sully is our physical defensive tank. And yeah. Okay, looks like we might encounter a person who has a bunch of bug types. Right now the only rock type move I have is on Krogunk. So if we go ahead, let's... Oh, before I do that... Pendra, would you mind learning X-Scissor real quick? Oh, and there's Rock Tomb. And we are going to go ahead and teach that to Pendra in place of Poison Tail, because we have a better poison type move that I just haven't gotten around to teaching her. And we'll stick Pendra up front. Yeah, so I don't think there's a way past this kid without battling. I should have equipped the wide lens to this thing before we started the fight. Hopefully we don't get any bad misses. Luckily, Rock Tomb is quad effective into his two potentially threatening Pokemon. Yeah, Whirlipede is a cakewalk for its evolved form. Oh, I was actually holding a berry that you could steal. Good move. It still actually bugs me so much that I made that I didn't go into that fight as ready as I should have, because I was on a good track for going deathless. Tauros, do you really think that we want to see you right now? You just killed my snack. One of your brethren, either way. One thing worth noting is that... Oh. I should remember to grab that after... when we come back. One thing worth noting... Oh, what was I going to say? I can't remember what was worth noting, so I guess it's not. It's clearly not worth noting. And we always make sure to use a repel when going through this cave. Oh, where is it? Because there is one extremely dangerous Pokemon in here, Wobbuffet, which will trap us in with its Shadow Tag ability, making it impossible to run away, and it knows Counter and Mirror Coat, meaning if we don't manage to take it out in one... That was not what I meant to say. We're all just gonna forget that that happened, okay? If we can't manage to take Wobbuffet out in one hit, then it will fire back with a much stronger attack. And that would pretty much be death for one of our Pokemon. So we're just going to make sure that we never encounter a Wobbuffet. At least until we have a Ghost type which can run away from it freely. Okay. Now we've made our way back here. We can do what I have been hoping to. So, we're going to add just a couple of Pokemon to our team. We're going to try and grab the ones that are going to be least important to take with us into the grass gym, which means we're leaving behind our 2 grass-type Pokemon, as well as Crobat, and we'll leave behind Pendra as well. And we'll put away Boring the Chespin, who is literally just an HM slave. And now we are going to go and do a bit of multitasking. We want to teach one of our Pokemon the move Thief. And yeah, we'll replace Payback on Stunky, on Mephi. And we'll replace Low Sweep for the moment on Phil Bates. And we'll take both of their items off of them. See, the thing is, before we hit the next gym, we actually have a rival battle that is far more concerning than the gym battle could even hope to be. Because our rival has the Fire-type Braixen, which has Psychic-type coverage. And while Mephi the Skuntank doesn't take any damage from Psychic-type moves, she does still take plenty of damage from Fire-type moves. And the AI with this particular rival is notoriously inconsistent, making it really hard to guess, to accurately predict what moves they're going to use in order to play around them. They kind of just randomly decide to use the wrong move into various Pokemon at times, which is just a real pain all around. It makes it a lot harder for us to be able to use safe strategies, which means we really want to make sure that we're ready to knock out the Braixen in a single hit when it comes out. And to do that, we're going to do some leveling real quick. Oh, for a second there I was like, how on earth are they outspeeding me? But I'm paralyzed. Come on, Al. Get through paralysis. Really? Some of them survived that? How? Luckily, a decent number of Pokemon do seem to really like going for stat-changing moves, which makes Clear Body a decent ability in Nuzlocke. So yeah, whenever we're facing a Krogunk, I'm using Thief in the hopes that it's carrying a Black Sludge, which is a really good item for our team to have access to, since all poison types treat Black Sludge just like leftovers. Which means that we can get a lot of extra bulk out of our Pokemon. Just overall a really good option to have available. And meanwhile, we're getting little bits of experience. Especially on our Al here, who is our lowest level Pokemon. And I should turn on the experience share. I forgot I hadn't done that. Experience share. That'll keep the whole team gaining experience gradually. See, the downside to this strategy is definitely the fact that it's only a 5% chance for Krogunk to be carrying a Black Sludge. Which means while we are progressing on the experience front, we're not getting as much progress on... Oh, we got it! We got a Black Sludge. And we'll finish it off with another Thief. Yeah, it's a bit slower progress on the item gathering route. Yeah, if you could return that, Phil, that would be just great, really. Go steal another one. Yeah, basically we're just mugging wild frogs. Actually hop on our bike. That'll speed up encounters a little bit. Try one more Thief. Okay. You know what's really depressing here? I wouldn't even have to worry about those accuracy drops had I not messed up in the process of catching Stunky and actually gotten a hold of the one that had its hidden ability. Because we caught Stunky from a horde battle. There were 5 Stunkies there, one of which had Keen Eye, which is a better ability than Aftermath overall. No, if that's single target, that's single target. Yeah, let's just fire off a Surfer too. Yeah, as much as I actually really like the Hoppip line, not good for much at that level. Mephi, if you would be so kind as to thief away some black sludge. Nope, okay, well then. Just kill it. Oh, Mephi, you got another shot. Admittedly, I'm not that great at keeping track of... Oh, we got a black sludge. There we go. So right now we've got 3 black sludges and 1 leftovers. If we get 2 more black sludges, we'll really never need any more. And we can actually change where we go with our grinding to find someplace a little bit quicker. Oh, we got another. So that is 4 black sludges and 1 leftovers. Yep, we just gotta keep mugging the frogs. That's all we gotta do. Just mug those frogs. It's kind of a life motto if you really think about it. Okay. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on stream, but I'm a really big fan of Roselia's Shiny. Like, if we encountered one here, I wouldn't actually be able to use it because I've already got my capture from this run in Phil Bates. Or from this area. It was Phil Bates, but... we're gonna keep the current moves on you. I don't really think barrier is that critical at the moment. Speaking of fun-looking Pokemon, there's a Smeargle. You know, I was actually thinking about it the other day while watching, I believe it was while watching Pokemon Challenge's video of on his ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald, where he makes everything in the game trash. Hey Cinderfay, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We are doing some quick grinding to prepare for a rival battle, and we are mugging these various Crogunks, trying to steal their piles of toxic sludge. I forgot to take the toxic sludge off of Phil Bates so that he can steal another. But yeah, what I was saying there is, I was watching a video on a Pokemon Emerald Trash Lock, which is a Nuzlocke in a hacked version of Pokemon Emerald, where all of the encounters have been replaced with just really bottom-of-the-barrel Pokemon, the kind that you would typically use for sacrificing if you needed to let something go down to save something else. And honestly, it got me thinking about what I like in a Nuzlocke, because it actually seemed like a really appealing idea. One of the things that I look for in Nuzlocke ideas is the opportunity to use Pokemon that I personally don't get to use that often. I just find it really satisfying to use it as an excuse to learn more about different Pokemon and experiment with their capabilities and find ways to bring out their strengths. And overall, it just gives me a bit better respect for some Pokemon that would otherwise be overlooked, because there are Pokemon that I will leap at the chance to use in just about any Nuzlocke that allows them. For example, right now we've got Desi the Crobat. That's cool, Syndifect. Yeah, monotype runs are honestly so much fun. I like the Nuzlocke aspect just because it kind of pushes me to think a little bit more about it, because obviously, especially in recent years, Pokemon games have been getting easier, so it's cool to introduce. So I like introducing that extra element of challenge. Mephi is learning Acid Spray, and actually, heck yeah, we're gonna learn Acid Spray. It is arguably a better move than Venoshock if we're going to use it at least twice. And if we could switch to Phil Bates real quick. And if Phil Bates could mug his brethren. Yes, we got the last Black Sludge that we needed. Okay. Well, at this point we can actually go ahead and go somewhere that the grinding will be a little bit faster. But yeah. One big example that I've mentioned before on stream is just the last time I did a run through Pokemon Y, I was doing what I called my height lock, where I was only using Pokemon who were less than 2 feet tall, well, 2 feet tall or less, and it was so interesting, because obviously smaller Pokemon tend to be more on the frail side. A lot of Pokemon that start off as less than 2 feet tall evolve out of being 2 feet tall, so I had a lot of unevolved Pokemon. And overall, it just required me to think about the challenges that I was looking at in a very different way and come up with some really creative stuff. I had to actually... My end game strategy was almost entirely based on a Shuckle and a Drifloon that was holding a Violite, because I couldn't evolve it into a Drifblim or it would be too tall. I need to see... No, I don't care for a battle with the Sky Trainer. I don't even think I have a valid Pokemon in my party right now for a battle with the Sky Trainer. What's she talking about? Okay. I couldn't recall if there was anything that I still needed to grab from around here. But yeah. I got to use Pokemon that I really never get the chance to during that run, like, Chimecho was a staple of my team for so much of the game, and literally had to sweep... I had to set up Chimecho to sweep Lysander, or I probably would have lost the run. And then... my crazy strats going into the Elite Four to set up using a Shuckle and an Eviolite Drifloon were just absurd. So you came up with a crazy strat with a Drifloon in your Mono Ghost Run and Shield? Yeah, that honestly doesn't surprise me at all. Drifloon and Drifblim are phenomenal Pokemon. In just about any Nuzlocke run where you can get them, they are worth getting. Because their defenses paired with such an absurdly good typing, it's really hard to beat that. Hey, that's awesome, Cinderfay. Oh, before we go on, I want to check and see if there's any reason that we shouldn't evolve Tentacool. So, let's see. Picks up Water Pulse at 33, but we've already got Surf, so that doesn't matter. Honestly, the only move coming up in its moveset looks really useful is Sludge Wave, and I don't think that's enough to justify it, since I'm not actually sure when we get access to Sludge Bomb, but we've got a lot of Poison-type coverage on this team. We'll have some options. Yeah, it looks like the difference pretty minimal. Yeah, let's go ahead and evolve it. It's one thing I always try to do before letting a Pokemon evolve is just making sure there isn't a really good reason for us not to let the Pokemon evolve. Oh. Well, actually, this is a pretty decent place to do some quick grinding. And now we've got a Tentacruel, which, as anyone who has ever watched Flygon HG knows, is an exceptional Pokemon. No, I know that other Nuzlockers are very excited about Tentacruel, but Flygon HG does get a little bit over the top with it sometimes. Not that I mind that at all, because honestly, yeah, let's give respect where it's due. Tentacruel is a solid Pokemon. Let's just surf it down. That is a really cool strategy though, Cinderfay. Snagging Ninetales Flash Fire, that does give you a pretty solid block into everything that I can think of in the back of Kabu's team. I don't know, does his Arcanine have any dark coverage? I don't think it does. I think it's just like fire and maybe normal. Sigilif is generally a pretty scary Pokemon, but we've got enough of a level advantage at this point. Yeah. Because, yeah, with Flash Fire, Drifloon can easily take, well, it walls all the fire moves, and then it can easily tank the grass and bug coverage that his Centiskorch carries, which is nice. Yeah, see, that's just It's such a nice strategy when, especially when you're pushed to use things that you haven't ever used before. I found it so ridiculously satisfying to discover that at least in the Kalos Elite Four, Shuckle with Power Split can render all of their lead Pokemon only able to do pitiful damage, even with like super effective options. Meaning, as long as Shuckle could survive one hit, which, surprise, surprise, it can because it's Shuckle. Taking one turn at the start of the match to set up Power Split made it completely free for my Drifloon to come in and set up with Substitute and Calm Mind and Stockpile and pass whatever boosts it needed to onto one of my team members in the back to clean up. And it was so absurdly reliable, especially because there was no danger of critical hits there. Stockpiled 3 times, Thunderwave to paralyze the Ninetales, and Hex. Yeah. I am curious, how did things work out against the Arcanine? Because that seems to me like it would be the most concerning. But that's partly because I don't know what coverage it has. So yeah, we're probably actually going to run the team to run the Pokemon that we're currently carrying right up to level 34, which is the level cap, and then take these 4 to go and fight the rival fight. So we actually have among them a pretty good matchup into most of the rivals' Pokemon. Sully can take on the Absol pretty safely, and Mephi hard walls the Meowstick. So the only one that we really have to worry about here is Braixen. And all things considered, actually, Al could potentially just handle Braixen. Okay, so you paralyzed it, and then it started going for agility. Yeah, because the AI is ridiculously obsessed with its speed and with speed control. Let's see, that's Phil Bates and Mephi. Sully still needs some levels. The fact that we have our second Pokemon on the team that is just an S tier Nuzlocke encounter is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, defense boost from stockpiles. It's a pity that you can't have Eviolite by that stage of the game, because honestly, you would be laughing at how little some Pokemon can do to a well-trained Eviolite Drifloon. It's actually so ridiculous how well that thing takes on even strong, fully evolved Pokemon in its matches. Like, there's a reason I rant and rave about Drifloon and Drifblim, and it's so deserved, because with their defenses and typing, they can blanket check so much of the game. And they make it so much easier to play around the opponent's moves. Okay, let's swing by the Pokemon Center. Alright, Halucha, you get my last surf, and then I've got to hit the Pokemon Center. Otherwise, this is just a waste. I should buy some more repels. Let's see. Okay, I've got a good... Oh. Let's actually grab some extra Ultra Balls. I don't want to waste money, but I feel like they could come in handy. Five super repels, and we got 3 regular repels. So is Pennywise the name of your Drifloon? I can't recall. Does Drifloon have dark coverage? I feel like it doesn't, but I can't say for certain. So I can only think of 3 of Centiskorch's moves off the top of my head. See, there have been a lot of criticisms for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and some of them are definitely justified. With that said, I feel like it did similar to Pokemon X and Y in making for some really interesting Nuzlocke options. Just with the massive variety of Pokemon that you can encounter in the game. Yeah. Let's see. So earlier I was talking about what I like in Nuzlockes, what draws me to them, and I mentioned encounters. The option to get Pokemon that I don't normally use but would like to, or just the option to use some Pokemon that I would enjoy using. Let's see. Another thing, like if I come up with an idea, I'll generally look at like just the available encounters as a whole, because it's important that there are actually enough. For example, there are some really cool Pokemon in Black and White that I'm really fond of, but for most challenge runs that you can do in Black and White, there's such a restricted number of encounters that it starts getting really hard to actually potentially win the games. Oh, hang on. Ah, you have Black Sludge on. I'm actually going to give you a different item. There's a Violite. And we're going to give Mephi the Black Sludge, because Mephi is going to evolve pretty soon here. Like, I've tried actually several challenge runs in Pokemon White, I believe it was, and the encounters are just so limited that it makes it really hard to get through the early game. The only two challenges where I could find reliable ways of getting through the early game were normal only and fighting only. My fighting only run failed just before the flying type gym. Okay, so its best option was max Flutterby, so it doesn't have Bite anymore. I wonder, does Centiskorch only have 3 moves in Kabu's team? Yeah, the fighting type team wiped not long before the flying type gym, and the yeah, 8 to 10 hit points worth, and Drifloon's got a lot of HP. Especially for an unevolved Pokemon. Let's see. And then my normal type run in Pokemon Black had I made it all the way to the Ghetsis fight at the very end, but then I wiped because I lost the Pokemon that I needed to beat Hydreigon in the fight before, in the fight with N, to a stupid mistake, no less, which was really frustrating. Yeah, Mephi, go for it. Evolve, learn Flamethrower, all that good stuff. Because for some reason, skunks breathe fire. And I support this. You know what, I'll drop Thief for now, because that's a TM move, and I can figure out what moves I want on it later. That'll be good. So yeah, having enough encounters, I find, is one of the first things that I tend to filter for when I'm deciding if I want to do a Nuzlocke, a particular Nuzlocke or a particular challenge. Yeah, let's get that last little bit of experience. Yeah, sounds about right. Hi, B Marching. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Yeah. So, for example, actually, the other day while I was watching Flygon HG's tier list of Pokemon in Pokemon Platinum, and for some reason he misplaced, we're not going to bother with this, I don't have a spread move to take him out. He misplaced Drifloon. He put it like 2 ranks lower than it should have been, which is depressing, but, you know, everyone makes mistakes. But he was running through encounters in Platinum, and I noticed that there were a couple of fighting types that actually appealed to me. So I started looking into the idea of a fighting type only Nuzlocke in Pokemon Platinum. It actually looks pretty appealing, because it has a lot of the things that I look for. Enough encounters to make the run doable, and the early game is possible since fighting type has a good advantage into the first gym, and you get some good option. And the fire type starter, which is also the starter for a fighting type run, Chimchar, makes the second gym pretty reliable as well. Let's see, anyone else that I want to tap for the team? No, I think I'll leave it there for now. Ooh, I almost forgot to use Repel. I'm gonna sort the items real quick so that I can actually find Repel. Evolution items, Super Repel. We have to use the Super Repel going through the tunnel this way because it's a bit longer than the other way. But yeah, being able to make it through the early game is obviously very important because I've had runs where I was beating my head against the early game for ages, waiting to get the luck that I needed to get through, and it's just so frustrating to play the same 3 hours or so of gameplay over and over again. Tentacool, you are in the way, and I really don't want to have to fight that trainer and accidentally over-level anyone. Speaking of which, let's turn off the experience share, and let's hop on a Go-Goat. Yay! Riding a Go-Goat is just so much fun. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. There is something back this way. Oh. Okay, I need cut if I want to go back that way. Well, I'll take care of that later then. Yeah, it's nice when the evolutions happen in kind of a cinematic way like that. Let's see, once I'm sure that the early game is possible, at least going long enough to where I actually get some modest variety in the team to where I can actually come up with strategies. Then it's mainly a matter of how much fun the run actually looks. And that includes, interestingly, how many challenges I actually anticipate facing. Where is Black Sludge? We're gonna give the Black Sludge to Sully as well. And give one to Al. Because I once tried a run here in Pokemon Y where I wanted to, let's see. You know what? I will add Roselia to the team just to give it that extra bit of variety. Yeah. And Roselia, you take a citrus berry. And I am leading with... Oh, I should fix up their move pools. Okay, let's see now. Actually, yes. Mephi, if you wouldn't mind learning Hone Claws real quick, that should help us deal... Okay, We're gonna drop Toxic. And you are going to learn... Where's Payback? You are going to learn Payback. And I'm actually going to drop Acid Spray because I really don't want to drop one of our only priority moves. We've got enough special attack to make do without that. Croagunk, you are going to relearn Low Sweep. Again, I don't really think you need Thief on the moveset. And you'll also learn Bulldoze. In place of Rock Tomb. Yeah, I once attempted a run of Pokemon Y here using only water types, and it was a fun run for the first little while until I got through the electric type gym. Because funnily enough, there are multiple water ground types available in this game, none of which are available before the electric gym. Which actually made beating the electric gym leader pretty challenging. Okay, we're gonna Hone Claws after we flinch, of course. Wow, they did a total of 1 damage when you consider that flinch. Oh, I love having some Black Sludge on these guys. That's actually gonna be so helpful throughout the run. Started a mono water run. Yeah, mono water runs in most games are really cool, especially because you tend to have big challenges and situations where you've got a big advantage. Kind of similar to this run right here. For me, the mono water run in Y just looked so boring once I beat the electric gym because there were no challenges up ahead. I had Pokemon that I knew could beat the fairy gym, I knew could beat the psychic gym, I knew could beat the ice gym. None of the Elite Four even remotely frightened me, and the champion is kind of easy in this game, so on the whole, there was just not much to look forward to. Slash could have been a bit of a problem if it crit, but looks like we're good, which means with our +5 boost, we should +6 boost, we should easily take out the Braixen. Okay, good job, Mephi. I just couldn't motivate myself to actually keep going in a challenge where there was no challenge remaining. That's part of why I like the look of this run, because among other things, we have some really dangerous fights late game. And we had some tough fights early game. Our rival is pretty tough consistently throughout, though as we just saw, her Meowstic can be cheesed by Mephi. Oh, I should actually switch up my team. Okay. Now let's withdraw some Pokemon. So yeah, the rival can be cheesed a bit by Mephi, and but is still pretty frightening because Delphox is going to be coming up pretty soon, and that thing is still very threatening into Mephi if it's not set up, if I'm not set up properly. Withdraw, withdraw. you, and you know what? We'll add you two to the team as well. What do you sell? Just Pokeballs. Actually, while we're doing this, I think I'm going to lead with Pendra. I think I'm going to go ahead and give her an item that will do nothing battle-wise, but we could really use some money. So I'm going to lead with Pendra into the gym trainers and just absolutely slaughter them for money. But yeah, not only are there some challenging gyms in this, like the first gym, like the bug gym was honestly pretty challenging just because Vivian is terrifying at that point in the game. Let's see, what's this guy got? What are you packing, buddy? Core Marine City Gym. The first guy has a Simisage. Nothing to worry about. A lot of your Pokemon were over leveled and you didn't feel much attachment. Yeah, the challenge really motivates the attachment to the Pokemon. So if you hit a point where the challenge decreases, it starts to get hard to feel genuinely attached to them. I'm gonna go ahead and teach Pendra a couple of moves, actually. Poison Jab, which we just got between sessions. Drop Rock Tomb now. And where is Sword Stance? There you are. Yeah, if you could just replace Defense Curl with Sword Stance, that would be great. So yeah, in this one, late game wise, we have the Psychic type gym leader, which requires us to play really carefully with our Poison and Dark types early game, otherwise we're pretty much sunk. Oh, what's the second guy have? He has a Ferocity, but then it's just a Lombre and a Carnivine. Yeah, let's go take him out. And on top of all that, there's the Steel type member of the Elite Four, who, honestly, really strong wall for our team to get over. Which is part of what I think will make this run satisfying. Okay, if you want to keep matching me boost for boost, I can crit offensively. You can't crit defensively for Raw Seed. You also can't do much else. Probably could have passed out. Baton passed out there. To something that could make use of those boosts. But it's really not a big deal. There's nothing that this team can do to me. Oh, let's heal you up. But yeah, honestly, if the Steel type Elite Four wasn't such a good matchup into our team, I probably wouldn't have decided to do this run. Because without a bit of late game challenge, I just get kind of bored of the Nuzlocke partway through. Looks like this girl has Roselia and Wormadam. Yeah, nothing really for Scolipede to worry about. I do want to take out the Roselia quickly, because it might know a status move, and I don't really feel like dealing with that. Well, luckily we got the one shot. Good job, Pendra. Ooh, agility. Yes, we are actually going... We're going to go ahead and drop Poison Jab immediately. Oh. Oh. Okay, that's weird. It might have been that the message was too long. I don't have the auto mod settings quite as good as I'd like. There, go ahead and send it again. You should be free to now. That lets you bypass the issue. I need to work on my auto mod settings. Okay, what's this girl have? Nice. To be honest, overall, I actually kind of like Piers in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I feel like there were definitely worse ways to handle the first Dark-type gym leader. We're going to set up a quick sword stance. This thing might put us to... Oh. I don't actually think this thing... It does have a Psychic-type move. Okay, that was dumb on my part, but we went unpunished. I didn't actually think it had a Psychic-type move right now. I thought it just had, like, Egg Bomb. But yeah. So knowing that there's a challenge all the way through the game is definitely a big thing for me. Because overall, Nuzlocks are obviously supposed to be fun. Like, they're supposed to be a fun way to take this kid's game and make it a bit harder and a bit more strategic. And of course, some Nuzlocks are actually absurdly painful to try and conquer. We are going to go and do a tiny bit more grinding. Not that we need it, but I'm a fan of getting everything up to level before going into the gym fight. So if we could switch you in front, turn on the experience share. Yeah. Honestly, I like this run a lot so far, partly because I feel like it's been very skill-based, apart from a dumb move I made earlier this stream, which I don't think you were here for quite yet. Oh, let's speed up this guy's Magikarps. Yeah, apart from a dumb move that I made earlier this stream, most of the run has been fairly manageable simply by carefully planning and making strategic plays. And we get a nice variety of Pokemon, some of which I almost never get the chance to use, including the Pokemon that I basically started this run to use, Dragalge. Now we're going to go back because we just spent 6 Giga Drain PP. And yet at the same time there are definite challenges and there's planning that needs to go into it in order to make this run work out. For some reason I thought someone leveled up during that fight. Oh. And yeah, we get to use some Pokemon that, like Dragalge and Drapion, that, funnily enough, I've gotten to use their pre-evolved forms pretty frequently, but for some reason, I never seem to get to use their evolved forms. And despite having grown up playing 3rd generation Pokemon, and having very literally beaten Gen 3 games like Emerald and Sapphire and Fire Red dozens of times, I don't think I have ever significantly used Roselia or any of its evolutions in any game. The closest I've come to having a significant use for Roselia was in Pokemon Go, where on the Eevee Community Day, where I caught like a dozen shiny Eevee, I also ran into a shiny Roselia, and it became one of my favorite Pokemon that I had. I have not played Pokemon Go in years, I should be clear here. It's been a while. Okay, Desi. Hop in the box while we go finish grinding. Oh. So yeah, there are a few Pokemon like that that I'm really excited to use here. And it really makes it appealing to keep getting encounters as I progress through the game and get a nice variety. We're actually just gonna run because we're a bad matchup into Heracross and I don't know what moves it has at this level. It could honestly kill us. Same thing for Chatot. Yeah, Chatot was actually really useful in my height lock. It's basically the only reason I was able to beat the rival outside the grass gym. And it was pretty clutch into the grass gym as well. Though I've actually found that Eviolite Skrelp is astoundingly good. Like, way better than it has any right to be with base 60 stats across the board. But Water and Poison type is just a really solid typing. You know what, we're gonna try it. Nope, we got a crit. Which means we're definitely a 2-hit on Chatot. But yeah, Chatot was really key in my height lock during the mid-game. I had a great time using it. doesn't hurt that Shatter is just a really fun move to use. Like, even without recording something ridiculous for Chatot to say when it uses Shatter, which I don't actually think you can do in this game. We can switch. So we're out of Giga Trains. But we have Razor Leaf. Somehow that thing well, I guess it makes sense that it survived. I've got my Ivysaur statted for defense, since I had both it and since I had both Ivan and Ollie. They had the same type, very similar move pools, all that jazz. I had to kind of decide what was going to be the use for everything. And since I still haven't decided whether I'm going to allow myself to Mega Evolve Ivan, I decided that giving it some defense could make it more viable if I decided to Mega Evolve it, and would at least give me some variety to counterbalance Roserade's really good offenses. Okay, and speaking of Ivan, let's see now. Easy enough to navigate to your Cerebi page. Yeah, I don't need... Yeah, I really don't need any of the moves that are upcoming. I could let it learn Petal Dance right now as it evolves. Might not be the worst idea. I would just need to make sure to keep a Person Berry on it. All told, I'd honestly rather have something like Giga Drain on it, or Energy Ball. Grass Knot will actually be available pretty soon here once we beat the Grass Gym. And yes, I realize that may sound cocky, but we've got a team of poison types. We're going to beat the Grass Gym. There's nothing the Grass Gym leader can do to actually frighten us. Yeah, that's definitely a big issue, especially in more recent games where the experience share is on all the time. It's actually a bit frustrating in my opinion. Like, honestly, just let us toggle it. Oh, hang on. Ramos. Does your Go-Goat carry rock coverage? It does not. Okay, yeah, there's absolutely nothing we have to worry about here. Yeah, over-leveling is a big challenge in a lot of recent games. You know what? No, I'm not going to have you learn Petal Dance. I don't feel like being locked into a move. All told, actually, Ivan might be our key team member into the Electric Gym coming up. So it's definitely one of our better options for dealing with Magneton, which is always the scariest Pokemon in the Electric Gym. We're really playing a mirror match here. I used Razor Leaf, it used Leech, it used Mirror Move to use Razor Leaf back. I used Sleep Powder, it used Sing. Oh, speaking of using Sing. Ivan, if you wouldn't mind waking up before this battle ends, it would just save us some concern. If you don't, then we're gonna have to... Thank you, Ivan. Dragon Gym in your water-only run. You know, normally I would just say just slap an Ice Beam on something, but actually a surprisingly challenging prospect since he's got a Dragon Steel type in the back. But I'm sure you've got something with some decent fighting or ground coverage. That's about all you need. The rest of his... Flygon goes down to any ice coverage, and... Oh, I meant to use Sleep Powder. And that's why. Because it can just keep healing itself with Milk Drink if I don't use Sleep Powder. Ugh. Yeah, Flygon goes down to any ice coverage. He's got a ground and a rock type, both of which are pretty much free to take advantage of with your water moves. And then he's got Doraludon in the back, which is actually a dangerous opponent. Yeah, choice specs on your Cloyster could do it, honestly. If you happen to have you picked up a Gastrodon somewhere? I'm making the assumption that if you did, well, actually, Gastrodon wouldn't be best since it would soak up your entire surf. Have you picked up a Quagsire somewhere? Yeah, I'm a fan of Chatot too, Rafkin. Welcome to the stream, by the way. How's it going? You did mention it, I just lack the ability to remember anything that's happened more than about at this exact second. Yeah, if you stretch it further back than that, it's kind of hazy. Doing well? That's good, that's good. Yeah, we're just doing some prep for the grass gym right now. But yeah, if you have something, Cinderfay, if you have something with water absorb, then just slapping a choice specs onto anything that can spam the fast surf should honestly make the two of Raihan's 4 Pokemon completely free. And if you can get ice coverage on whatever else you have out there, then Flygon's dead. There's nothing it can do at that point. It doesn't have the oomph to actually put much pressure on you. I'm pretty sure that Raihan's Flygon is a special attacker. We're going to drop a Sweet Scent, actually. That'll make Sleep Powder fully accurate. I've got a wide lens on Venusaur, by the way. It's patching up the accuracy on some of its inaccurate moves. It is a physical attacker, but it doesn't have a ground type move. That's what I'm thinking of. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't have a good ground type move. But yeah, even Thunder Punch, you can play around with some careful switching, especially if you make sure to bait Thunder Punch into one of your Pokemon in order to switch it out for Gastrodon or Quagsire. That should make it a relatively reliable strategy. I'm just gonna run from this Chatot. Oh man. I'm getting really lousy luck with sleep turns against these wild Chatot. Ollie, come on out. Actually, Fury Attack hitting there wouldn't have been bad. Probably would have gotten poisoned. Yeah, that is the thing about Cloyster. Fantastic on the physical side, but you really want to avoid special attacks, even some resisted ones. Honestly, a strong Hydro Pump can pretty easily, like, a Hydro Pump crit from most decent special attacking water types can one-shot Cloyster. Why am I still leading with Ivan? Like, legitimately, why? There's no point. It's higher level. I should switch Ollie up front so that it can gain more experience. Come on, Ollie. We're putting you up front now. Wait, hang on. Okay, yeah, Ivan does have his item. Thought he did. Luckily, these Chatots seem to be in a bit of a habit of going for taunt. But yeah, honestly, I think that water types only into Sword and Shield is actually a pretty fun sounding option, especially because I'm sure you can get some water types that has a decent matchup into the grass gym. After the grass gym, I'm trying to think what else poses a massive threat into water. You said you're in Sword, right? Really? Hop runs physical in Teleon? Come on, it's the coolest Galar starter. Why you gotta do it dirty like that? And there goes the poison point. Oh hey, it's a Pachirisu. So cute. Let's kill it. Like, people give Whismur crap, but it's equally every Pachirisu's birthright to die unfulfilled and unsung. Alright, Chatot. Give me that XP. I want to fight the gym leader already. It doesn't help when I drive out of the patch of grass where I need to encounter Pokemon. Oof. See, say what you will about Chatot's underwhelming stats as a whole, but 60 base power Confuse Ray puts in work sometimes. If you wouldn't mind Giga draining the Tauros. Hey, I'll take the poison. One more fight. Why do I keep doing that? Ooh, you know what? We actually have a spread move. Ivan, if you would be so kind. Oh, come on. Fine, you know what? We'll run. Ollie, switch back. Ivan, use Sweet Scent. Let's get a couple of horde encounters. Like that. That should be a pretty easy one shot, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Well, okay, let's be fair. Boxing Toxel isn't a bad idea. Boxing Toxtricity is one of the dumbest things you can do. And Boltund, actually, I gotta respect Boltund. It was my starter when I did an electric-only run through Pokemon Shield, and it put in work. Oh, hey! Oh my gosh, how many? Okay, only 2 Intimidates. We should be able to deal with that. No, we aren't. Okay, never mind. As much as I want to wipe out all 5 of those at once, it's not worth it. So if they get a few good crits, that could actually work. Honestly, I feel like Pincurchin doesn't fall short by a lot, it just falls short by a little. Like, I genuinely think that Pincurchin is a cool Pokemon. The fact that it gets a bunch of water-type coverage is awesome. It's a physical electric type, which there are still kind of a shortage of. It's a defensive electric type. The only real issue is that it doesn't really fill a core role, and its stats are just a bit too low for what it wants to do. Yeah. See, you can work with a slow Pokemon, but Pincurchin needs more defensive power in order to let you work with a slow Pokemon. Yeah, why not? Add Scolipede and... You know what? If stuff by some absurd miracle manages to go bad, we might like Sully. But yeah, you can work with a slow Pokemon, even a slow electric type, like Pincurchin, but it needs more defenses or something else to set it apart, and they didn't give it enough. Like Vikavolt. Vikavolt is generally not an especially fast Pokemon unless you get an agility or 2 set up, and yet it's a fantastic Pokemon. It gets bug coverage and levitate, and enough bulk to work with. Really solid option to use in a lot of situations. I am going to check something real quick. I want to see Roselia's level up moveset, and if there's anything in it that I still care about getting. Petal Dance, no. Toxic. Aromatherapy could be nice, but I don't actually see any specific uses for it. By the time we hit that level, nothing really spans status. And I've got Absorb, which kind of reduces the need for synthesis, or Giga Drain, which kind of reduces the need for synthesis. Which moves can the move relearner teach? Roserade. Okay, yeah, we really want it to have its final moveset when it evolves. All things considered, I don't really think there's a situation where we're likely to want to use Petal Dance over Giga Drain. So yeah, you know what? Ollie, you are going to evolve real quick. Where is that shiny stone? There you go, Ollie. You finally get to become a Roserade. Dang, the team's actually looking pretty crazy at this point. Like, we've got some solid Pokemon on the team. And you know what? Despite the fact that there is an acrobatics-powered Jumpluff in the lead on Ramos's team, I am going to lead with Scolipede. Gonna lead with Pendra there. Just to get the extra money from Amulet Coin. We're going to immediately switch out, because even that strong acrobatics can't genuinely do much to Crobat before it one-shots it with its own acrobatics. And let's turn off the experience share. I do like this gym. It's a very pretty gym, but I wish that this gate was open before the gym battle so you could leave easily after or before you beat the gym leader to go and heal and stuff. You know what? Pendra is... Nah, I gotta play this smart. Okay. So let's recognize that obviously leading with Pendra... Okay. Tom passed out first. Leading with Pendra was just a thing that we did to get more experience. From this point on, I actually only need to press one button and I will win this match. So Desi, fight acrobatics. Fight acrobatics. Fight acrobatics. Just like the fighting gym. Oh. Crobat is so ridiculously good, especially in generations like this where it gets acrobatics as a level up move. It's even better than when it could get Brave Bird by Move Tutor, I think back in like Gen 4 or something. And now, let's grab that TM we just got and teach it to Ivan. Yeah, Ivan, if you would be so kind. Yeah, no wonder he hasn't been doing great damage when you compare his special attack to his attack. But yeah, Ivan, if you would be so kind as to now learn a special attacking grass move after 34 levels of not getting a single one except Petal Dance, which would have been objectively less useful. So yeah, that was the fourth gym. It's practically a footnote, like. It's really pretty funny to see what such a top tier Pokemon like Crobat can do when it has the right matchup. Okay, let's see. Now before we can actually progress the plot, we need to go down into the Badlands and take care of Team Flare down there. I just want to see if there are any useful items that we can pick up. There's a TM, Flame Plate. I don't think we have a use for Sunstone, but we could hypothetically find a use for Smooth Rock. That's about it. I think I remember where the Flame Plate is. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to switch grass types in general have a bit of a rough matchup into Team Flare. Who knows why? So, yeah, we're gonna switch those in. And despite the fact that Desi is the highest level Pokemon on the team currently, we are just gonna go ahead and put her up front. Oh, and there's Lysander. You know, I really like how Lysander is, like, such a subtle background character. Like, it always makes you kind of wonder what his deal is. Because obviously he's not really that core to the plot or anything, but he does pop up, and you know, I feel like he goes unnoticed sometimes. In case y'all can't tell, I am being sarcastic. And now we've upgraded our Pokédex for, I believe, the last time, and we get to visit what is inarguably the worst route in all of Pokemon. Ooh, but there are berries there that we can steal. Shuka Berry, that is ground resist unless I'm much mistaken, which is actually really good. Oh, I should use my skates. Okay, we got the Smooth Rock. Yeah, those are green trees, which means they're probably just green berries, so they're probably just Shuka berries again. And you're probably seeing why I am leading with Crobat, even though it doesn't need the experience. Because I want levels, or I want to be able to run away from all of the rampant arena trap Pokemon. Ah! Especially since they hunt you down like you're wanted for war crimes. You know what? I will Air Cutter. I'm probably not going to have a use for Crobat during the electric gym. Oop, here we go. Firestone. Okay, I thought the flame plate was over here, but I was wrong. Gibble, you're lovely. You got a lovely smile, but I don't want to spend my time fighting you right now. There we go. Okay, there's the flame plate. Now if we can just pick up the TM, whichever one that is, I can't actually remember. It's a good thing that Crobat is not only a flying type, capable of avoiding being arena trapped, but fast enough that it can run away from Dugtrio. Okay. That Dugtrio actually helped us, because now I don't have to turn off speed up to pick up whatever item this is. Okay, it's useless, but we can sell it later. Should probably take some time between streams at some point and just sell off a bunch of those useless items that are only good for in battle. Clear out my inventory of stuff that I can't actually make use of in this run. Ooh, star piece. We could... Oh, we don't have... Wait, we can teach Rock Smash to something. It's not an HM in this game. Oh, that's so helpful, actually. I'm so used to Generation 3 where Rock Smash is an HM. So I grew up playing Generation 3 almost exclusively for so many years. Yeah. Progunk, if you wouldn't mind replacing your best stab move with Rock Smash, that would just be great, honestly. And if you could do some of that smashing of rocks. All things considered, it's very helpful. Okay, so I need to work my way around here. And there we get the TM for Charge Beam. I wonder if we have anything that can learn that. I haven't looked into it, but could hypothetically be useful into the water member of the Elite Four. Oh, and we got an ether from smashing a rock. there's actually an important item right here. Now, the one other thing that we need to concern ourselves with. Okay. The Team Flare Grunt has a Houndoom and a Golbat. It's pretty doable. We don't have anything that's great into the Golbat, but it isn't actually that great into us either. Actually, we've got Sully, who should be pretty capable at shutting down the Golbat temporarily. Oh wow, I'm impressed, Houndoom. I didn't actually expect you to survive that. You know what? I am not going to risk Tentacruel to a potential acrobatics crit. We're going to switch straight into our physical tank. Only thing is that I wish I had something that could actually hit it for any significant amount of damage. Okay, we let it fall asleep, so that guarantees us a safe switch in. And we'll go into Mephi, I think. Mephi's a bit more bulky on the physical side than Tentacruel. That was a very lucky sleep. Gotta like those nice mixed attacking stats on Mephi as well. Actually going to go ahead and teach Mephi Thief real quick, I think, because... Hang on, where's Thief? There it is. Mephi is actually fairly quick right now, which makes it pretty unlikely that it's going to get to trigger the boost to payback, which makes Thief slightly better. I really wish that it gave us access to other entrances of the power plant, though. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Like, there are just certain areas in some of these games where I feel like you should eventually gain access. Oh, I didn't actually think to look up what we were up against here. You know what, Al? Surf away. Once more. Oh, that's actually a really good switch into Al. Especially assuming it's got the... It's got dry skin. That said, it can't really do much to fill Bates, who has Bulldoze for coverage. You know, I actually really appreciate this particular stage of the game. No, never buy from him until he actually lowers his prices. And we got a Zap Plate. I don't suppose I can just bypass you. But yeah, this stage is actually somewhat challenging, just because the admins in this area are actually higher level than the next gym leader, which means they pass the level cap out by a bit. Pseudo weakness to fire type moves should help there. Oh, and hey. We're gonna Hone Clause. And then we're gonna Thief. And then we're gonna switch because he's making us waste our time with Confusion. Sully. We'll pivot through you to get... if we can actually... yeah, we can lock him into Confuse Ray. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna outspeed here, I'm almost certain. Yep. But yeah, the admins in this particular area are actually kind of frightening, and there's definitely a risk of... we definitely have to play carefully with the level cap, because it's really pretty easy to over-level here. Oh. Yeah, that works just fine. Should actually put some pretty focused efforts into Phil Bates, because he's getting pretty close to evolving, and we definitely want to evolve him as soon as reasonable, because Toxicroak is so much better than Krogunk. Let's see here real quick. Toxicroak. Gen 6. Yeah, so he'll evolve at level 37, which is actually the level cap of the next gym. Which he could be decent into if he... if we can manage to get him in safely against Magneton. But just overall, significantly better stats than Krogunk. And yeah, no difference in the overall level up move set, which means there's no reason to not evolve him as soon as possible. Okay, we'll fight our way through endless Team Flare losers. I should really swap Rock Smash back out. Drop an Encore, so it looks like he's locked into Wing Attack. And yeah, it's pretty safe at this point for Al to come in. Yeah, we have to go through an entire gauntlet of these guys. There are so many of them. Yawn. Encore. Ooh, we locked him into Swift. Oh, it's always nice to lock a Pokemon into its worst move. Still, our best option here is probably going into Al. Can get some recovery with Black Sludge and then get the 2-shot with Surf. And there's really nothing to fear from Swift from Golbat. Oh, Phil Bates and Sully both leveled up. Acid Spray the Mightyena. Surf the Mightyena. We may actually have to backtrack at some point here. See, I am a little bit more free at this point to make use of Desi and Al, since they're going to be benched for the next gym battle. Why do I keep forgetting? Seriously, why do I keep forgetting to reteach Phil Bates it's his low sweep? Low sweep, Phil Bates, yes. Teach it, place Rock Smash, go. Hi, Lipard, you're in a bad matchup here. I don't think that was even a crit. Bulldoze. I'm pretty sure this is definitely a roll for a 3-hit. But we got it. No point in having him learn Venoshock. He's a physical attacker for us. The fact that Sludge Bomb and Sludge and a lot of those poison moves are special moves makes it just so much more reliable. To use him as a physical attacker. Jeez, we're just coming shy of a couple of KOs here. This is part of why I want Phil to evolve. Yeah, we gotta heal Phil up. And you know what? We'll even use actual potions to do it instead of me just clicking Oranberry 1,000 times. For the most part, we'll still click Oranberry a few times. Got a really annoying tickle in the back of my throat. Probably because I've been talking for so long. Hi. Let's see now. What are the admins here actually packing? Because they are the difficult-ish fight in this area. Okay. First one has a Houndoom. The second has a Mighty Enna. So yeah, nothing too crazy. And honestly, Al is pretty good into both of those. I am going to go ahead and use an Ether on Al to restore Surf, just because I'm lazy, and we will eventually have as many Lepa berries as we could hope to use. Okay, first guy, the one with the Houndoom. Honestly, one of the worst choices they made for this particular game. The admins of the evil team are so forgettable. Like, I can't actually think of another game where the admins of the evil team are less forgettable. Or more forgettable, I mean. Oh, and they even let us redo our team order for this. Actually, yeah, I'm totally going to take advantage of that. Switch Pendra up front. Pendra hasn't gotten much to do here. So yeah, Pendra, if you would be so kind as to set up a Swords Dance. And then one-shot one of my favorite Pokemon using X-Scissor. I do love Mighty Enna. I have very fond memories of the first Mighty Enna I ever trained. Caught it as a Poochyena and named it Poochie. She was just a really good girl. She was a good pupper. I liked Medago. I still have that file, actually. Saved. It's a file in Pokemon XD. Yeah, I'll take some full restores. That's helpful, actually. Money gets tight around the end of this game, from what I recall. And now, here's the cool thing. He sells them cheap. And we can spam this for a little bit to get some really nice, cheap healing items. Unfortunately, it isn't the fastest thing in the world. I'll only go one more after this. Okay. That's good for now. And now, Desi, if you would be so kind as to fly us to the south portion of Lumio City. Where we can heal up. Let's see. It is getting a bit late. How fast do I think we can clear Gym 5? We are going to switch up the team just a little. There are no new encounters. Let's see. We will almost certainly be fighting only the required opponents in the Lumiose gym. I believe there are only 3 opponents that we absolutely have to fight. Yeah, here we go. Jump to the gym. Hmm. Let's see, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 opponents that we have to fight in the Lumiose gym. Alright, where is our Bulldoze TM? We're gonna go ahead and teach that to Pendra in place of X-Scissor temporarily. So there's pretty much no matchup coming up here that X-Scissor is better into. We will also, we're actually just going to teach it to everything that can learn it. Ivan, yeah, as excited as I am that you know a special move now, I am going to go ahead and replace it literally immediately. And we can actually pretty easily afford to replace Sludge because it's the same strength as Venoshock, and we do have Toxic on Sully. Actually, we could even consider Poison Jab on Sully if... Okay, so we can't learn Poison Jab. I was gonna say, Sully has a minus special attack nature. There's actually one more thing that I want to do. We are going to fly back to Shalor City and look at some of the TMs there. Yeah, none of these are especially useful. We don't need Rain Dance, we don't need Sunny Day. So Desi, if you could help fly on back to Shalor City. Oh, it's so nice to have Fly. Oh, no, not the box. This guy. They have Dig. They also have Safeguard, and we are going to take both. Despite the fact that that costs most of our money, I genuinely think it's worth it. Why is it raining in Shalor City? I didn't even know this could happen. Huh. I don't think I have ever seen just spontaneous rain in the overworld in this game. Okay. Now, Desi, we're going to put you back in the box. Because while you are... It's actually genuinely so funny that arguably the 2 best Pokemon on our team are in the box for this next gym. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and throw on the experience share. Turn on the experience share just because... Just because I don't actually think we'll have too much to worry about over leveling. Oh my gosh, I've actually got to come in from the north. Why couldn't they manage to code this so that it triggers once you beat the thing regardless of where you enter from? I actually have to use Sully to fly back to Cormarine. And then trek all the way through... Oh, I know why. It's because there's... I forgot. There's an event that happens as we pass through this area. As we pass through the Badlands. For the first time. Yeah, we have to run into King Az, or Az, or however the heck you pronounce it. Okay, bye Az. Oh, wait. They're about to put the power back on in the Lumio City gym / the tower. Sorry, I think this guy might have like a TM or something. Nope, okay. Well. Ah. At least there's a Pokemon Center here. We won't use it, but... The cinematics in this game are very nice. Maybe not quite as like cinematic as the ones in black and white, but considering I'd say that overall the visuals in this game are just better, it's a trade-off that I'm perfectly happy with. And now if we just hop in the elevator, we get to play a quiz show. That is a Pikachu, which means the correct trainer is on the right. I'm gonna double check the ordering in this. Okay. I seem to have the correct order, but I think I recall last time I went through this that Cerebi didn't quite have the right order in some parts. Probably could have kept Poison Jab on here. And it's Pikachu. Now if we could heal you up real quick. Okay, that was probably not my best use of the super potion considering they're expensive. That is Fletchling. Okay, so based on this, it should be a Manectric. This shouldn't be too much trouble to get through. Yep, it's Fletchling. Okay. I think I know the pattern now. But yeah, if you could bulldoze your way through these. Oh, I don't like the crit. How's no one in the back leveled up from that experience? Some of them had to be close. Okay, that is Panpour, which means it is the one on the right. who should have... Yeah, it's an Ampharos. Which might actually have Fire Punch. No, but it does have Power Gems, so I definitely don't want to lead Pendra into this. Ivan, if you would be so kind. We'll open with a Leech Seed. Since we got hit by Confuse Ray, we'll switch to Ollie. Okay, so a crit only does about half, a little bit less, which means Giga Drain is pretty safe here. It's gonna keep clicking Confuse Ray. Ollie's gonna have to take a Power Gem on the switch, but yeah, it's no more of an issue than it was for Ollie. Phil Bates and Mephi and Ollie all leveled up, and Phil Bates is gonna evolve. I don't actually know if... I think I may have managed to use a Krogunk like once in a Nuzlocke. Yeah, there's no chance that I over-level from this. It's the last battle. That is a Butterfree. That is a Vivian. That is a Mothim. Which one is Vivian? It was number 2. What Pokemon does trainer number 2 have? Based on what I think the pattern is, it should be a Plusle, could be a Pikachu. Yeah, I think I'll lead Ivan into this. It was a Plusle. I want to go ahead and drop a Leech Seed real quick there. Jeez, they're getting a lot of crits. Honestly, that Bulldoze probably could have taken it out from full, but it's not a big deal. We are going to duck out of the gym briefly. Just so we can do a little bit more grinding. Got everyone up to the level cap. Go ahead and switch Desi up front. And see, now we're actually in a situation where it's not that bad that we've got all of these Pokemon trying to encounter us. We can use it as a cheap excuse to pick up some quick berries. Oh, I think those are just more Shuka berries, yeah. And Dugtrio is actually worth a decent bit of experience. You know what? I might actually go to a different route. Because as much fun as easy as it is to take care of these Dugtrio for cheap experience. Oh, not in there. I've already beaten everyone in that gym. With a Pokemon that it literally can't hit. I want to get a few more kinds of berries if I can. Ah, jeez. I always bump into this guy. I don't need any of the incenses that he's got, at least at the moment. Oh, I forgot about this person. Oh, hey, she's kind of toxic too. That's nice. We're gonna kill her. And now, watch this. So Bide charges for 2 turns and then fires on the 3rd, which means I was safe to use Fly to dodge Bide. I could have just used Acrobatics, but on the off chance that I like low rolled or something, it could have been annoying. Slowly hit level 36. You know what? I'm actually going to switch Desi further back in the party, just so I can switch her in if we actually encounter something problematic. If we actually encounter something that has berries behind it. Oh, I meant to fight that thing. I don't mean to fight this thing. I love Heracross. It's a fantastic Pokemon. Excellent design. I don't want to fight it. Not with my grass type. Come on, give me something worth some experience. Yeah, I'll work with that. But also give me something with some berries behind it. I want the berries. Okay, most of the team is at level 36 at this point. Oh, and Mephi grew to level 47. Desi, if you would be so kind as to fly us. Yeah, we'll go here. Jeez. There we go. The mouse is a little bit more accurate than this on speed up. And we'll heal up real quick. See, as much as this is one of the more dangerous gyms at this stage of the game, like, it's massively more dangerous than the last two, I still feel like we can pretty reliably take it if we're just a bit smart about it. Like, there's not too much to worry about there. Is that a cherry berry? But yeah, getting the berries that we can. It's worthwhile. Chesterberry, I think we've already got those, but you know what, I'll take it. See, it does highlight just how bulky Throw is. That it just took, admittedly, my lowest power flying type move on Desi, but still a flying type move from a strong flying type 10 levels higher than it. Like, that takes some chunks. Same for Hariyama. And we got a Lumberry. I think we already had a couple of those. Oh, wait, why did I do that? And I think that's actually the level up on Desi. But you know what? We're gonna keep Desi around instead of swapping her out, simply because it doesn't really matter if she overlevels, as we're not taking her into the gym battle, and it could save us a minute or two. By that I mean like 10 or 15. To not swap Desi out. And it's helpful to be able to hunt for more berries. Oh, have I grabbed one of these already? Yes, I have. I'm almost absolutely certain that I've already gotten Mago Berry. Yeah, there's not too much to say about this situation. We're just kind of farming berries for a few minutes. Backtracking to a few of the routes that I haven't really had time to farm berries on. Al grew to level 37. Same thing with Desi though. Pendra grew to level 37. We actually want to take care of that. Desi, if you wouldn't mind us flying just a little ways south back to Ambrit. Where we can box Pendra. There are a lot of background objects, but I don't know if we've got the right moves to break some of them, and yeah, as much as I would love to get the items from them, even just to sell later on, it's not that critical to do so. Getting pretty close. It is a bit annoying when there are so many different background objects that could spawn to the point where they make berries less common. Ivan, if you'd be so kind as to switch up front here. And actually, you know what? We will fly one more time. We'll fly back to Geosenge. That's a pretty safe spot for us to do some final grinding, and I think we've actually gotten most of the relevant berries and stuff from these couple of routes. So fly in here. That's so annoying. Okay, Sully is level 37. Should only take one or two more decent battles to get Ivan up there as well. Admittedly, definitely won't be against the Staravia that it gets it, just because Staravia is immune to Ivan's current only attacking move. But Nidorina isn't. You know what I might go with, actually? I've been toying with different options for how to handle whether I'll use Mega Venusaur in this. I might only Mega Evolve during battles where my opponent Mega Evolves. That seems reasonable to me. And it gives me the chance to use Mega Venusaur, which is definitely my favorite Mega from the Gen 1 options. From those 3 starters. Not from Gen 1 as a whole, because Mega Beedrill is definitely cooler. There are a few Pokemon where getting a Mega was more justified. Oh, we're there. Okay, last fight. Desi, if you would be so kind as to air cutter this thing. And then, if you would once again be so kind as to fly us to Lumio City Center. And just like that, honestly, we're pretty much ready to take on the next gym. And you know what? For once, I am actually going to swap out Ivan's wide lens. For a zoom lens. Ivan is significantly slower than everything in this gym, so being able to put on the zoom lens for that extra bit of accuracy beyond what the rest have, beyond what wide lens gives, is really nice. Pendra, I think I'm going to give you a citrus berry. And Ollie... Let's see now. Yeah, let's... Phil, if you could take a citrus berry. Pendra, if you would do so as well. And honestly, oh, you know what? Do we actually not have a cherry berry yet? Hold up. Sort these. We don't have a cherry berry. Luckily, we've got a good supply of lung berries. And I'm going to give one to Ollie as a bit of insurance against being paralyzed. And with all that, I think it's time to go fight Clement, or Clement, or whatever the heck his name is. Imagine if they made us remember which answers we had given in order to get back to the top. That would be so annoying. And you know what? I'm actually going to lead with Pendra. I'm kind of winging this because I genuinely think that because we have a really decent matchup into this gym with Pokemon like Ivan and such, that we don't have to worry quite as much as we otherwise might. But yeah. It always sets up electric terrain, but we have two bulky electric resists in the back, and they're going to waste a couple of turns using... Clement wastes a couple of turns here using Hyper Potions, which means we're actually through 3 turns of electric terrain, so we're only going to have to deal with one outside electric terrain. However, we definitely don't want to have Mephi take a Thunderbolt boosted by electric terrain. So yeah, we're gonna switch to Ivan, who luckily pretty much walls the remainder of the team. So yeah, let's drop a Leech Seed. We are taking a decent amount of damage from this, but really, even with the zoom lens, I wanted to use sleep powder so that I could get more recovery, and I wound up with less. Oh, come on! Okay, so we've got a flying type move incoming here. We have a few options, but I think I'll just switch in Sully to take the Aerial Ace. And then we can Toxic this thing to death. Luckily, I'm fairly certain Toxic is 100% accurate when used by poison types. Like, I actually think it can bypass certain things like evasion boosts, which is nice. Doing a poison run without making use of the poisoned condition would be kind of a crying shame. But yeah, with all of that, and with some careful gameplay, we managed to get gym number 3. And we have to go to Lysander Cafe because for some reason, for some absolutely absurd reason, the professor in this region is buddy-buddy with such a bland character as Lysander. But with all of that said, all things said and done, it is getting late. I'm kind of tired, and I still haven't been to the gym today. Except for the 2 gyms that we beat during this stream, which personally I think is pretty great. So we're gonna call it there. Thank y'all for showing up. Anyone in the chat, if you haven't, please feel free to drop a follow. I'd really appreciate it. I've been doing Pokemon during the week and various other things on the weekends, Right now, my weekend gameplay is Paper Mario, which I'm pretty excited for because I love that game to death. But yeah, thanks so much for joining, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.